and good day. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz from eTurboNews, and this is a breaking news update. For more news updates and shows, please go to youtube.com/travel news group. youtube.com/travel news group. Here's our update.
Most and least sustainable travel destinations in USA. With travelers increasingly conscious of the impact they could be having on the planet, cities are doing their best to be more sustainable. The cities around the world are now doing their bit when it comes to fighting climate change, from using more renewable energy or encouraging residents and visitors to use public transport, cycle and walk. So, which are the most sustainable destinations in the U.S.? To find out, travel industry experts analyzed some of America's most visited cities on a range of sustainable factors. The top 10 most sustainable cities in the USA. Rank city percent of sustainable hotels percent of people who walk, cycle or use public transport to work renewable energy as percent of total consumption average annual air pollution microgram per cubic meter artificial brightness microcandela per square meter carbon footprint per person TCO2 miles of cycle paths congestion level score 10-1 Portland 9.00% 33.2% 43.1% 7.0 6590 16.7 5.31 20% 7.502 Seattle 9.19% 44.8% 38.4% 6.0 8240 17.3 12.19 23% 7.293 New York City 14.33% 71.6% 12.9% 10.0 11700 17.1 124.19 35% 6.504 Minneapolis 4.40% 30.4% 15.6% 11.4 8780 21.8 41.70 10% 6.464 Denver 5.15% 21.9% 11.3% 9.8 5250 19.4 9.00 18% 6.466 Boston 7.45% 54.1% 6.8% 8.0 8340 19.0 5.31 19% 6.177 Salt Lake City 3.01% 20.4% 7.0% 9.1 4670 15.5 1.59 15% 6.048 Buffalo 5.88% 20.7% 12.9% 9.3 6140 19.8 0.07 13% 6.009 San Jose 3.64% 11.3% 16.4% 8.5 5220 17.5 0.40 19% 5.679 Austin 2.41% 15.9% 7.5% 10.7 7480 15.0 19.10 20% 5.67 1. Portland, Oregon. In first place is Portland, Oregon, which is well known for being a progressive city, so it makes sense that sustainability would be important here. The state of Oregon has the highest rate of renewable energy usage of any on our list, 43.1%, and also scores highly for its low light pollution, 6,590 microcandelas per square meter, and the number of sustainable hotels, 9% of total hotels. Portland has regularly ranked highly in lists of the greenest cities in America and was one of the first to introduce a comprehensive plan to tackle CO2 emissions. 2. Seattle, Washington. Not too far from Portland is the second-placed city of Seattle, Washington. The city is known for being a technology hub and has experienced rapid population growth, but it was also the first to pledge to become climate neutral, doing so back in 2010. Like Portland, Seattle scores highly for its usage of renewable energy 38.4%, as well as for its average air pollution 6 micrograms per cubic meter, people who walk or use public transport 44.8%, and sustainable hotels 9.19%. Seattle relies heavily on hydropower and only uses fossil fuels for a very small percentage of its electricity. 3. New York City, New York. Despite being one of the biggest and busiest cities in the world, New York takes third place. NYC was the top-scoring city for not one, not two, but three factors: sustainable hotels, people walking or using public transportation, and length of cycle paths. The sheer size of the Big Apple has forced it to tackle its carbon footprint head-on, investing in a comprehensive public transport network, constructing green office buildings and pledging to drastically reduce emissions. The research also revealed the least sustainable U.S. cities. Ranked city: percent of sustainable hotels, percent of people who walk, cycle or use public transport to work, renewable energy as percent of total consumption, average annual air pollution, microgram per cubic meter, artificial brightness, microcandela per square meter, carbon footprint per person, TCO2, miles of cycle paths, congestion level score, 10-1 Nashville 2.20%, 11.1%, 8.8%, 14.3 8,780, 17.6 0.60, 19%, 3.462 Columbus 5.14%, 11.2%, 4.4%, 13.6 10,000, 19.8 1.40, 13%, 3.673 Dallas 1.96%, 11.0%, 7.5%, 11.8 12,500, 16.5 2.90, 17%, 3.793 Houston 2.14%, 10.1%, 7.5%, 11.1 12,314.6, 0.75 20%, 3.795 Indianapolis 2.01%, 7.7%, 6.7%, 12.4 9,620, 20.6, 13.75 12%, 3.876 Philadelphia 3.82%, 39.7%, 6.1%, 11.5 12,200, 19.5 4.96 22%, 3.927 Chicago 5.44%, 41.6%, 7.3%, 13.4 17,921.1, 27.29 24%, 4.048 Baltimore 6.20%, 29.3%, 5.9%, 11.5 13,420.2, 1.00 15%, 4.139 Tampa 2.82%, 12.5%, 7.2%, 9.2 10,715.3, 0.70 21%, 4.17 10 Cincinnati 4.13%, 17.9%, 4.4%, 11.7 7,530, 22.6 2.20 14%, 4.21 1. Nashville, Tennessee. Coming bottom of the rankings is Nashville, Tennessee, one of the fastest-growing cities in the country. Nashville is the lowest-scoring city when it comes to its air pollution, 14.3 micrograms per cubic meter, and also scores poorly for its cycle path infrastructure, with just 0.6 miles of protected pathways. 2. Columbus, Ohio. The second lowest-scoring city is Columbus, the most populated city in the state of Ohio. Ohio has a very low rate of renewable energy usage, 4.4%, and the city of Columbus has a high level of air pollution, at 13.6 micrograms per cubic meter. The high levels of pollution in the area are largely caused by the Ohio State University's McCracken Power Plant, the landfill operated by the Solid Waste Authority of Central Ohio, SWACO, and the Anheuser-Busch Columbus Brewery. 3. Houston and Dallas, Texas. Two Texas cities are tied in third place, Houston and Dallas. The two are amongst the biggest in the state and both scored poorly for their public transport use and air pollution levels. Both are very busy cities, with Houston having one of the highest levels of automobile usage in the country, while Dallas is also a major transportation hub with numerous highways converging in the city, which is also home to a major port and one of the world's busiest airports. The destination with the most sustainable hotels. New York City, New York 14.33%. Staying in a sustainable hotel can help to somewhat offset the effects that travel can have, as they make an effort to keep their energy consumption to a minimum. The city that has the highest percentage of properties marked as being sustainable by Booking.com is New York, with 14.33%. The destination with the highest public transport use. New York City, New York 71.6% of people walk, cycle, or use public transport to work. Using public transport, walking or cycling is a great way to reduce your carbon footprint, and by far the city where car usage is at its lowest is New York. Here 71.6% of people use something other than a car to get to work, or work from home, with the city having the largest single-operator rapid transport system in the world, providing 24/7 service to 472 rail stations. The destination with the greatest renewable energy use. Portland, Oregon 43.1% renewable energy consumption. Unfortunately, renewable energy data is only available at state level rather than city, but the state where renewable energy makes the largest share of consumption is Oregon, at 43.1%. Oregon's electricity supply is dominated by hydroelectricity, with over 80 renewable hydropower facilities in the state. The destination with the lowest air pollution. Tucson, Arizona 4.8 micrograms per cubic meter annual air pollution. Air pollution is a serious problem in many cities around the country, but the destination with the cleanest air is Tucson, Arizona. Located in the Arizona desert, Tucson is the second biggest city in the state but averages just 4.8 micrograms per meter cubed a year. The destination with the lowest light pollution. Tucson, Arizona 3,530 microcandelas per square meter artificial brightness. Light pollution is a form of pollution that perhaps gets less attention, as not only does it take away the beautiful night sky, but it also makes it much harder for some species to survive when they're impacted by so much artificial light. Once again, Tucson comes top here, with the city establishing dark sky ordinances way back in 1972 to limit the levels of light pollution. The destinations with the lowest carbon footprint. Houston, Texas and Los Angeles, California 14.6 tCO2 per person. Two cities are tied with the lowest CO2 emissions per person, with both Houston and Los Angeles producing 14.6 tons per person. While they're both extremely busy cities, both have high population levels too, so their per capita emissions actually aren't as bad as many other places. The destination with the least congestion. Minneapolis, Minnesota 10% congestion score. Traffic congestion is an obvious cause of emissions and air pollution, but the city that struggles with this the least is Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Thank you for listening to our news update. There's more on youtube.com/travel news group, or you can read us, of course, in going to our news portal at eTurboNews.com or travelnews.online.